Hey everyone, and thank you for watching. This is episode number 96 of the Daytripper Photo Show. We're a little bit light-staffed tonight. Gabriel, unfortunately, can't make it. He was just called out on an emergency IT tech help visit service call thing, so he's not going to be around, unfortunately. But I'm here, and we're going to talk about how to edit in Google+. Now, why would you want to do that? What's the point of editing in Google+? How come we don't use Lightroom or Photoshop or all these other softwares that we have access to? Well, go ahead. Why not? It's just another tool. Some people, though, don't like all the software. They don't want to spend the $10 a month for the Creative Cloud, or they don't want to get into investing $150 for Lightroom or anything like that. So this is an option that is free. It's built into Google+, and it's really cool what you can do with it. Easy. I think that's the big key. If you want something to be very straightforward and very easy, use the Google+ editing platform. It's very straightforward. So before we get into that, I'm just going to remind everybody who's watching to please like, subscribe, share what we're doing, tell the world that the Daytripper Photo Show is a lot of fun to watch, if you think that way, of course. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. Might as well. Get some notice on anything that we do. Of course, it says YouTube, or 2YouTube on our thing here. I think Gabriel was messing with the show notes. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Also, thank you to LensPen and to Cotton Carrier for all of your support over the years. LensPen's our newest group helping us out with all these things, and they've given us a lot of really cool prizes to hand out to our photo contest winners. We've been off for 2 weeks. We only have one challenge this week. We're not going to do two. That one challenge was vacation. Of course, I mentioned to folks to post pictures of your favorite portrait photo as well. Now, we're not going to go over the portrait photos. That was more just something fun that we can keep going while we took a break last week. But for tonight, we're going to go over some of those photos as well. Of course, first place is going to win the DSLR cleaning kit, or the cleaning kit from LensPen, where you get the blower, the lens cloth, and the pen. You're going to get, for second place, the LensPen with the Sidekick, the tablet cleaner, which is awesome. We gave a bunch of those away at our last day trip. And, of course, to the actual LensPen is a third place winner. These things are fantastic, definitely an asset to any photographer, and we're blessed that they feel enough about our show to ask us to help and spread the word on LensPen. All right, so let's get right into what we're talking about. Oh, I also want to thank Gentek, of course, for all the Sigma lenses. We have a day trip coming up on Sunday on the Tom Taylor Trail, and of course, Gentek distributing, Gentek International gives us the Sigma lenses that we can use on our trips. So we're getting that whole briefcase or 5 full of lenses that we're going to be able to use for the whole day. It's a lot of fun, and it's a great way to experience something new and something that you may not get to experience usually. Try an ultra wide or a fisheye or something like that. Macros. All right, so let's get into the discussion. We're going to kind of breeze through today. Since I'm the only guy here, at some point potentially we might have somebody show up, but that's okay. I can handle it. I've been due to do a show on my own for quite a while, so I might as well make it now. And by the way, cool stuff next week. Ron Clifford, the genius photographer himself. He won't like me saying that, but he's very modest. He's going to be our guest on next week's show. It's going to be a lot of fun. So why edit? I guess that's the first thing we should talk about. What's the point? Why do we need to edit? So many people just are stuck in that habit of taking their photos and just, that's it, you're done. Now, by all means, if you can get proper exposure in a single image and you can get the composition and everything done without having to do any edit, good on you. There's no reason you have to edit if you get what you like. The point of editing is to finish the photo. I mean, we've always had to finish our photos ever since the dawn of photography. You even found Ansel Adams spending 2 days in the darkroom editing a single photo. He was editing. Now, if you don't do that, you're missing a whole step. Trey Ratcliffe, one of my favorite photographers of all time, is known for saying, if you love the edit as much as you love the shooting, then something magical can happen. And I'm a believer of that philosophy. I think that editing your photos is how you layer your personality on top of the picture that you've made. So there's no right or wrong. It's just our opinion, and my opinion in this case, that editing is usually something that I'm going to do. If you see one of my photos, most likely there's some edit to it, unless it's done from my cell phone. Now, this is also something very interesting about how the Google interface works. As you all know, I've just updated from my old iPhone, iPhone 4, which was slow and kind of a pain, to my new Sony Xperia Z2, which is awesome. And the photo quality from this is absolutely spectacular. We did a whole show on it. I don't need to go into all that again, but the point being, if I can make a photo that's excellent quality right from my phone, and then I just sign into Google Plus, and there they are. It's already synced through the Google interface into my computer. Well, I don't need to really do much. I can just grab that photo and play with it in Google Plus. I'm going to show you how to do some of that in just a few seconds. Now, where do we usually edit our photos? Now, I have been known to edit in Creative Suite. I've been using the Adobe Photoshop Creative Suite now for years, ever since CS2, and now I'm up to CS6. And I've recently purchased the Creative Cloud, so for $10 a month I get Lightroom 5 or whatever new version of Lightroom comes out in the meantime, and I get the Creative Cloud, which is essentially the Creative Suite version 6 with all the updates, and it's $10 a month. So it's really not that bad if you think about that, but some editing platforms now are free. Now, people have been using Picasa for quite a while. I've been recommending Picasa to users for years. That is also a Google software, but it is something you need to download. It's a separate program that you have to actually download to your computer, so of course you need to be fairly savvy on how to do that. And once that's on your computer, you need to open it to edit your photos, and it's a file management and so on and so forth. Very much like Lightroom, with maybe not the same breadth of features available to you. Now, what we're finding in Google Plus is more like Snapseed, which is also something that Google's purchased. They have quite a few editing softwares. They purchased Nik software and so on. So the software that you find within Google Plus looks almost exactly like editing in Snapseed, which I use on my phone anyway. So Snapseed's great software, and you can do all that right within Google Plus. I'll show you that in a minute. And again, why edit in Google Plus and not these other platforms? Well, you know, because it's easy. Oops, throwing things around. It's easy, it's free, and anybody can do it. And this is the thing. A lot of people come into the store, work at Henry's, obviously, in Newmarket, and they come into the store and they're like, well, what editing software should I buy? Well, I tell them Lightroom is pretty much the standard right now, and that's what most professionals are using, but it's $159.99 on the shelf, and you know, some people don't want to invest that kind of money because they edit casually. Every vacation they take 2 times a year, and they come home and want to go through their photos. With Google Plus, you can just upload your photos, just like you would on Facebook. There's better protection of your images, so they're not going to be sold for condom commercials or whatever it might be used for. And the best part is you can edit them right there. That is your editing tool. So as soon as you upload the photos, you can just click the edit button and boom, there's all your tools. Now, what do you do with these edits? I mean, are you going to save these and print them? Sure, why not? We can upload full resolution images to Google Plus now. So if you upload a full resolution image, edit it, and then save it, and you can do whatever you need to do with it. I just don't know if it's going to be a 300 dpi photo or not. I have just downloaded one of the images that I shot, but it was with my cell phone, so that was 72 dpi. But it's a full resolution file, 3,000 pixels by whatever. So it's very big files. I'm sure I can print an 8.5 by 11 no problem. So if you're doing 4x6s, 5x7s, absolutely, you can get into this. What else does G Plus do with your photos? Now, we've talked about this as well. Google Auto Awesome is a pretty cool feature these days, and it does a lot of different things. So I'm going to do a couple screen shares, and I'm going to show you some of the things that you can do with this software. If you have any questions, join in the Q&A. We've got it on right now, and I'm watching for anybody making comments. I do not have the other feature turned on, so hopefully the Q&A will work, and if it doesn't, I hope somebody can get a hold of me and let me know that so I can try and do some finagling and get that to work. But it should. Please join in the Q&A and mention anything you like. All right, I'm going to quickly do one of my screen shares here, and I'm going to show you folks some of the things that you can do. I'm going to first pull up some photos here. There we go. And share. Okay, so what you're going to see pop up in just a second is basically my search results page, my page where I can just click on photos and it goes right to the highlights and the search results of all the pictures I have. Now you see there's all of these things moving around. I can isolate this specifically by only seeing the Auto Awesome images, and that's where I'm at right now. So you can choose your stories, your albums, videos that you've seen. You can really, you know, tone it down so you just see what you want to see. Just things that were recently added, photos just of me. These are all tools that have been in Google Plus for quite some time. But, oh, Lena, hello, hello. Thank you. The Q&A is working, and thank you for showing me that, Lena. I appreciate that. Oh, and by the way, your photo is very, very cool, and unfortunately, it was shot before this week for the challenge, so can't really include it in the photo challenge, Lena. Sorry about that. Only new photos. Okay, back to what Google will do with these images here. First of all, if I just scroll down, you can see how there's some that are kind of already funkified up here. This one that I'm highlighting over. This one down here as well. And these other ones are what they call Google Awesome. They're moving photos. So essentially, you just take a series of pictures, like I did for this wrestling shoot here. I was just in burst mode. I held the shutter down, and then I just loaded the group of photos into Google, and within a short time, it created this merged video. And you can see it takes a second, but once it gets going, there we go. See the whole move in action. So I did nothing except load the photos to Google Plus, and it did the rest, and then told me, it emailed me to tell me, hey, you've got one of these cool, awesome effect photos. So it creates a little GIF file. And yeah, don't start talking to me about GIF, because I'll start thinking about peanut butter and how you can't get it in Canada, and that's a whole different argument, but I don't need to get into that right now. Squirrel. Squirrel. I'm squirreling, and I'm on my own. Of course I am. All right, here's another one. I was taking some pictures outside, and these are all taken on my cell phone at night of snails. And I kept taking different pictures, and it thought that it was a series, and it created this little moving snail thing, which is kind of choppy and weird, but still creepy. And, of course, this is what it also does. It does some really interesting effects. So this is just a cell phone photo that I shot, and Google took that photo and just thought, hey, let's make it look funky, and added all these layers and effects and so on to it. So this is something that Google just did by itself. Now you can turn that feature off so that it doesn't do this kind of thing, but I like to leave it on and see what you get. You never know. All right, so while we have this photo open, I'm going to show you here. If I just click on where it says More, I can download this photo in its original state or its edited state. So if I like what it did with my picture, I can then download the full resolution edited photo and save that to my computer, print it, do whatever I want to do with it. And so yeah, it works just like normal editing software. Of course, from this point, I can also delete the photo. I can share the photo. I can create a slideshow of the photo. And I can edit the photo. Whoops. There we go in here. I don't want to tag anybody. There we are. Okay, so if I want to edit this picture here, I just click on Edit and give it a second or two. It loads the editing tools, and if you've used Snapseed before on your iPhone or your tablet, this is exactly the same software here, guys. You can do the drama, you can do the vintage, pretty much everything. And of course, my computer's moving at a snail's pace. In fact, those snails are moving faster than my computer is right now. So here we go. Now this picture's already been auto-awesomed, so it's probably not something I would edit and then keep again, but nonetheless, I'm going to show you some of the things that you can do here if it ever decides that it wants to open. Of course, after this presentation, I'm going to be going over some of the photos that people have submitted for our weekly photo contest, which was vacations. And of course, our next photo challenge will be announced at the end of our photo review, so stay tuned for that. All right, let's see if this is ever going to work here for me. There we are. Okay, so there's my photo, and on the right side, I've got all of the effects that I could add to this photo. I'm going to scroll down here and start at the bottom and show you what you can do. Okay, so you could do the tilt shift effect. So if you've taken a cityscape or you've taken pictures of something where you want to make a certain area look very, very small, you can use the tilt shift. You can add frames to this, and you can see in this awesome image they've already added a frame to it. I can choose to center focus. So literally it creates a little circle, and I can make the edges blur. I can change the edge brightness to make it brighter or darker. I can do all kinds of really neat things at this point, and just save that if I want to. Hit apply. It saves it right to its original. It also has some pre-made presets, right up top here. So you can do its own vignette preset or blur, old lens, and choose the old lens, and in about an hour and a half it should actually apply the the effect to it. We'll see how that goes. There we are. So you can choose to make it weak or strong. You have a lot of control over the effects that you're giving it. Now these are effects that some photographers will say, "Pah, it looks like crap. I don't need that kind of stuff to my photo." And you know what? That's fine. You don't. These are visual toys. These are things that you can play with to really get something funky out of a photo. It doesn't mean you have to go to that extreme all the time. You have your HDR scape, of course, to make it look like that grainy, poppin' HDR effect. You can choose that effect there. And there's, of course, for each option you choose, each creative adjustment you choose, there's presets. And within each preset, you can tweak it with simple levels. So it's very, very easy to work with. In fact, it reminds me a lot of something that Daytripper Photo is working on. But yeah, we'll have to get to that another time. The vintage effect, drama, black and white. I mean, you could do all these really, really great things right within the Google Plus interface. Now, for those of you who don't want this funky effect, simply choose Tune Image. That's your basic effect. Brightness, contrast, saturation, shadows, warmth. Very straightforward, very easy to edit. And you know, I say easy. I guess that's a general term. Some people don't find it easy, but in all of the world of software editing, let's just say that this is probably the most straightforward. That's my opinion. And of course, you have your presets: dark, moody, bleached, neutral, pop, lift, if you want. But for the most part, this basic Tune Image option is great for just giving it that simple look that you're looking to give it. I'm going to get out of here for a quick second, and I'm going to actually choose a photo that has not been enhanced. Oh, and by the way, you can actually customize your auto enhance if you want to. So you can turn it off. There's the original photo there. Or you can flip it on, and it auto enhances it. And that's again where I can go through and choose all these different settings. And it's still thinking. Lots of birds on the ground in that photo. Yeah, this was my backyard. Just taken with my cell phone, actually. A lot of my photos these days I'm taking with my cell because it does just as good as a lot of the other basic cameras that people would be walking around with these days. Not a larger sensor camera. It's a standard point-and-shoot size, but it's a fantastic camera when in the cell phone. All right, so you can do details, you can crop, you can do selective adjustments. Now, this selective adjustment tool comes straight out of software. This is pretty cool. You just choose your control point, and within that region, it gives you a lot of little tools that you can play with. So, in this small radius, which I can change the size of, there's a circle there. I can make it smaller, I can make it larger. That is the only place that the changes I'm about to make will actually show. I can choose brightness, I can choose contrast, and I can choose saturation, just in that one small spot. So control points are excellent, and you can use as many control points in one photo as you want. If I have a specific area I'm trying to brighten or darken, I can just use a control point for that. All right, let's see if I can get out of here and go back to my photos. I'm going to stop my screen share while I do this. And remember, guys, please join in the Q&A. Ask us any questions or ask me any questions that you might come across. If you have any thoughts, if you've been doing editing in Google Plus and you have a comment you'd like to make, please feel free. Go right ahead and let me know what you're thinking in the Q&A. It's open. All right. So other things that you would want to do this for. Say, for example, you saw somebody else's photo. Ask them for permission. Ask if you can download that photo. They can go in and turn that feature on for you. And then you can go in and do a re-edit of that photo. Now, I am the first person out there to tell you that intellectual property trumps everything. So please, if you're going to do this, ask that person for permission if you want to edit that photo. It's not something I wouldn't do that. I mean, it's not my thing. There have been some situations where a colleague might say, hey, I'm thinking of doing an edit. What do you think of it this way or that way? In which case, I'm a very visual person, so I want the photo so I can actually edit it myself. But of course, ask permission before you do stuff like that. It's only fair. So Google Plus gives you these amazing tools. It really gives you some pretty spectacular things that you can do. Next time you guys take a photo and you want to edit, by all means, pop it in and try it out. See what you think. Also remember that with Google or Android interface phones, these images go directly into your online cloud storage. So the minute you take a phone on your cell phone, I can then open up my laptop computer and go in there and do my edit if I want to. So it just opens up the world to be much easier for doing your photo editing. And I think that is the big, big plus to using Google Plus to do your edit. All right, well, since we've got no questions coming in, I'm just going to move right along and go back in here. The internet is very slow today, people, so I'm probably lagging like crazy, and everything I'm asking my computer to do is slowing it down one notch further. So I'm just going to close a couple windows here. Yeah, let's close this guy. And don't forget that if you have any questions and the show is over, if you're watching this show after the fact on YouTube, please feel free to send us an email. You can get a hold of me at brian@daytripperphoto.com. I've got my email right up in the, well, actually, I've got the website up in my lower third, so you can just go to daytripperphoto.com. If you have any questions, get a hold of me through there. We do have a couple cool day trips coming up. On September the 7th, we're going to have our next Tom Taylor Trail day trip. Got my little list right up here. And that's going to be a lot of fun. We've done our last one August 24th. That was a blast. We had a good group of people, had a very good time. On September 14th, we're doing the Y Marsh. I can't wait for this. The Y Marsh we did back in 2011, and it was spectacular. We didn't get to Ste. Marie among the Hurons, which we're going to do this time. And that should be a lot of fun. It's like a little pioneer village. But we did do the falconry last time, and we're going to do that again. So it's a huge football field size area where the birds fly, and you can get great photos. It's a lot of fun. And if you have any questions about that, check out daytripperphoto.com, and all your questions will be answered. All right, so here we go. My computer is finally caught up to me, and I'm going to go into my photos section. Oh, it's really not catching up to me. All right, let's just move along. Any questions so far on editing? Again, it's a very short topic because it's so straightforward to do. Once your photo is uploaded to Google+, you can do whatever you want. Just click the edit button. Go in there and play with your photos. You can do sharpening, you can do contrast, you can do cropping, you can do straightening. You can change the aspect ratio of your photo. So if you want to do a 16:9, or if you want to do an 11:13 or 11:19, you can constrain the crop if you want to. So all of these tools that we have in Lightroom and so on, they're right there in a much easier to use way. So I think this is going to make photo editing a lot more fun for people who haven't done it in the past. And if you believe you don't need to edit anything, well, either you're a much better photographer than anybody I know, or you're not getting the most out of your images. So keep up shooting and keep up trying. Make sure your exposure is all proper, but nonetheless, you're going to have to edit. And that's what Google Plus is really helping people out with these days. All right. That's pretty much it. I'm going to go on to our photo review of the vacation theme, and I'm going to talk about some of the photos that we've seen. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, please feel free and post them in the Q&A, and I'll get to those as we go. All right, let's just open up the weekly challenge here. I'm going to close all my other windows because it is slow. Ooh, slow, slow, slow. We got a wicked lag. All right, start my screen share up again here one more time. There we go, guys. So we'll start at the bottom where the photos started coming in. Fred posted some photos from his vacation at the Toronto Aquarium, Ripley's Aquarium. Now this place, everybody's taking some great photos at this place, but it is not easy. As Fred says here, he says, what he took away was that the iPad pictures people were taking were far superior to anything he managed to get. Now I looked through some of the photos, Fred, and you actually did very well. There were a few conditions, though, that I want to quickly see if I can help you out with a little bit. First of all, let's go in here. You got a couple images in here. And seeing as how fast Google Plus is right now, this is just going to be a treat. This image right here I want to talk about. So this was shot with your 50mm lens. Now, we can see that it's not super sharp, and there's a reason for that. Lenses have the minimum focus distance. Now, your settings are right, 320th of a second. You're shooting at f1.8, so you got that aperture as open as you can get it to get your faster shutter speed. That's all fine and dandy. The problem is you're too close. Too close, Fred. A lot of lenses, when your minimum focus distance is 1.5 to 2 feet, and you have your camera right up on the glass and it's right there on the other side, you're going to have some issues with focus. So in case you were wondering what happened here, just pull your camera back a little bit and you'll probably get a much better result. Or take a picture of something further into the water. And there was something else here. Here we go. This shot here, again, the sharpness isn't quite up to par, and I think the main reason for that would be the fact that your shutter speed was quite slow. So hand holding this is very difficult at a 30th of a second. Now, this is where, unfortunately, we really need to crank up the ISO. You've got your aperture as open as it can go. You're still not getting enough shutter speed. Make the camera feel a little bit more light, and you'll get much faster shutter speeds. Now, it may grain up a little bit, and you can see up in the side over here there's a bit of graininess happening. But you know what, Fred? Better to have a grainy, sharp photo than a blurry, clean photo. It's my take on it. So go ahead, play with that ISO. See if you can get that cranked up. And thank you for submitting. Excellent stuff. All right. Ooh, it just jumped way up to the top of the list. That's not cool. Let's scroll back down. There's some really interesting photos this challenge. It seems vacation seems to be a topic everybody was very familiar with right now. I start my vacation on Thursday, so that's where I'll be able to take my vacation photos, but let me keep on going here. These are photos from the Wildlife Challenge. Because the computer is so slow, it's taking forever to catch up. Okay. Speaking of Gabriel out on a tech call, I should have him over here to fix up my stuff. Maybe one day, right? One day. All right, there's the bird pooping. Great stuff. That Wildlife Photo Challenge, that was a lot of fun. There were some cool shots. All right, now what's happening with this? There we go. Keep on going. There we are. Back in action. All right, cool. So, as we move forward, you can see Julie posted a few photos as well. She was in Vancouver this past week on business vacation, which came in handy for the photo challenge. These were taken off of Stanley Park, and she hoped to see seals walking along the seawall. Well, I don't know if that's a seal, but there is something walking along the seawall there. Beautiful location. I would love to get there one day. Hopefully I will. But thank you so much for submitting the photos. And anything in Vancouver. Oh, there's a seal right there. Let's take a look at Julie's photo here. Fantastic. I didn't know there were seals in Vancouver. Apparently there are. That's really great. Around here, that would be just Canada geese flying around. It's a little bit more exotic when you can actually have a seal in the photo. Thank you, Julie, for thinking of us when you're on your vacation and submitting your photos. All right. What is all this? Oh, now we're in Julie's highlights. Wow, that's a great whale. I'm going to squirrel here for a second. I don't want to get too distracted. So let's see if I can get back into our photos. It's very warm today. I don't know if anybody else out there is as warm as I am right now, but I'll tell you, this house is really, really warm right now. All right, so go down to Weekly Photo Challenge. And again, using Google+, once you understand how it works, it's very straightforward. If you want to get within our community to a specific posting, you just choose that posting on the side header. It takes you into that group, that thing that would have all the photos for that challenge in there. There we are. And scroll down a little bit. I'm just going to stop scrolling or else it'll keep going forever. Okay, here we go. Hey, actually, my mother was up visiting this past month, and I was able to take a few shots and submit them from my phone. That's pretty fun. Okay, so here we left off right here. Fred took this great shot of a building in Toronto that joins to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Excellent architecture some places in Toronto. Just some beautiful things to look at. You can see Fred was working with getting the right angle. He has the light posts going right up into the center of the main archway of the building there. Interesting composition, lots of lines and really, really nice light. Good exposure. Well done, Fred. Like that shot. And Lena, now this is the photo, unfortunately, that was shot before our photo challenge, but I should mention it. It's a lot of technique being used here. She had a gentleman sitting in a chair for a little bit of time, and people walking all around the outside created the blur. And I could see through a little video that she posted that she was using flash as well. So excellent technique, brilliant concept. This is a 3-second exposure, and it turned out so well. Great mood in the musician's face, and you can see, you know, he's plucking away, doing his thing, and the world's just going on around him. It's just a really great shot. But unfortunately, this one doesn't qualify for a photo challenge because the date was done back in the day. Either that or her EXIF wasn't working properly. So, Lena, please let me know if you're watching, if this was taken during our period for this photo challenge for the past 2 weeks, or if this was taken before then. I know you said hi earlier, so you're out there somewhere. All right, let's keep on going here. Tubing in the Elora Gorge. Byron, this looks like something I want to do right now. It's so hot in here to go tubing in the gorge. That would be a blast. And this photo here, just the fun that she's having, the look on her face. Oh, somebody in the background's taking a header. Hopefully everything worked out well there. Great choice of settings. You can see the sharpness of the water all around her. The bubbles everywhere. Oh, that wasn't for the photo challenge. No problem, Lena. It was still a great photo, and thank you for sharing it. Appreciate that, and thanks for clarifying for me, too. All right, so back to the photo that we're looking at. The sharpness of the water, obviously the settings that were chosen here gave you that nice fast shutter speed. Yeah, 400th of a second shutter speed. This was done with the Canon Rebel and shot at 250 millimeters. So zoom in all the way. You've got the girl in front nice and in focus, and in the background here it's nice and soft, so that long telephoto lens is flattening depth of field so much that it's giving you the nice sharpness where you need it and softness so it's not distracting in the background. Great choices and a really cool photo. And going forward here, there's some more tubing photos. Vacations are the best. We had friends visiting from Newfoundland for their vacation. We took them tubing in the Elora Gorge. Great fun, Byron. I'm a little upset that I didn't get an invite to go. You know, it just looks like something that would be right up my alley, you know? But, nah, it's okay. I'm just kidding. It looks like you had a great time. Thumbs up. All right. So, moving forward, up to the very top again. See, that is one thing I'm not quite sure about with Google. It does things on its own. I guess it's the auto awesome. That's what that's all about. Doing things on its own. All right, here we are. So Fred posted this one. While on vacation, not to disguise oneself. Oh, why not disguise oneself with a wig? Jeannie could not resist. Now, I got to say, this looks very much like my hair back in the day. So, and Fred said it looked a lot like his as well. It's very cool. Let's see. Okay, we've got some things in the Q&A. Byron says it was a lot of fun. I imagine it was. I used to do this kind of thing when I lived in Vermont, the tubing. Of course, we didn't have a tube. We just kind of went down on our bellies, and it was a blast. Nobody died during the making of any of that action. And for Lena, what did she say here? It was the fave portrait. Oh, right. And flash wasn't used. So I did also ask people to submit portrait photos, their favorite portrait photo, and it didn't matter the time. She just happened to post it in the weekly photo challenge section. So thank you, Lena, for clarifying. Awesome portrait, and yes, I agree. That would be one of my favorite portraits if I was ever good enough to make that one, because you know you're just way better. And Byron, you are up for it anytime. I think we're gonna have to do that. That sounds like a lot of fun. We'll make something happen. All right, and up here, there's a couple shots I took on my breakfast and a couple ducks. Yay! That's my vacation photos. All right, Lori, vacation time means getting to spend time with my beautiful little niece, edited with Snapseed on my iPad. So here's something that Lori edited with Snapseed, which is the exact same editing tools that Google Plus uses. So this is something that you can do with any photo that you already have on your iPad, on your iPhone, your Android phone, any new photo that you shoot, right within camera. It's awesome. So I think it's good that the Creative Cloud came out and had everybody register for the 1 year memberships, because I think a lot of people would be migrating to do a lot of their quick edits just within Google Plus if they knew how good this was. Don says his hair was longer in the day too. Yeah, I'm kind of missing that. In fact, my mother is trying to get me to manufacture hats that have the hair around the edges and just like nothing on top. So when you put your hat on, you have hair around the edges like me. So we'll see if that ever happens. It sounds like a lot of marketing money that is just kind of silly. But I'm silly, so who knows? Maybe it might happen. All right, Chris, safari vacation, swimming with the elephants. This kid is going to have some wild stories for his kids, I'll say. Check this out. How often do you get to do this like this little guy? Sitting on a baby elephant while the other elephants are cleaning themselves in a nice leisurely way. It's a fantastic image. It tells a great story. Excellent exposure. I mean, this isn't something you see every day, so even at a zoo. You certainly wouldn't see this at a zoo. I mean, God forbid there should be a person inside the cage at a zoo. And in real life, they do much better by the looks of it. So, Chris, great work. Thank you for submitting this. I'd like to know what those are in the way background there. Right back up in here, if they're little birds or something. But, yeah, you go on a safari, you never know what you're going to see. Maybe this little boy was being raised by the elephants, and you'll see a movie about that in the future. I don't know. Squirrel. Yeah, what an experience that would be, Byron says to that. That would be phenomenal. Just the thought of it. I know Martin, when he went to India, Martin is a guy that I work with at Henry's. He has a story when he was in India, he was on top of an elephant and his black rapid strap let go and his camera nearly smashed on the ground. He caught it with his ankles. He was up on the top of an elephant, it's like 20 feet in the air, and he caught his camera with his ankles. Saved his camera's life. I could only imagine the frustration that would be being on a photo trip in India and losing your camera on the second day that you're there. Here's another photo, Lori, another vacation shot of her lovely niece edited with Snapseed. Now, one thing I've noticed with Snapseed and with any of these editing softwares, if you're editing on your phone or your tablet, by the time you upload it to the social media site that you choose, whether it's Facebook, Google+, whatever, it's softer than it looked on your phone. It generally looks a little bit different. Now, this I attribute to the fact that monitors, just like phones, are all different. So we've talked before about having proper monitors to edit on. Well, some phones have IPS monitors as well. In fact, the Sony Xperia Z2 that I own has an IPS monitor or screen. So if I were to edit on this screen, it will look very much like what it comes out as when I post it to the social media. So something to think about. The quality of your screen is going to have a big impact on how you edit. Now, Eustace shared his photo. These are some of his favorite portraits. So this isn't necessarily part of the vacation theme, but excellent portraits nonetheless. And it's not easy taking pictures of younger people, especially when they're your own kid, because, you know, they always want to do something else. So very good sports, he says, and very good shots. Marjorie posted this photo. This is a great shot because it tells a great story. Her tone that she used for her edit is very clean and bright. Using composition, you're down low, looking into the children, looking over the pier. It tells the story from their eyes, per se. Looks like a great day, everybody kind of chilling, kicking their feet in the water. It's a great moment, a great story, and I really, really like the photo. Marjorie, thank you so much for submitting this for us. All right, let's keep on going here. Hey, we're actually on time so far this week. I can't believe it. We're almost going to finish in an hour. I'm very impressed. Maybe I should ask all of the other hosts to never show up again. No, joking. You guys don't want to have to deal with me all the time. All right, so Lori, the perfect vacation day. Yes. Almost perfect primary colors choices here too, but not quite. That would have been interesting too if that was all primary colors. The Adirondack chairs always look fantastic, and getting the right composition is a hard thing to do. A low perspective like Lori has here is a great option, and you can see that the horizon line is just above the tops of the chairs, so it gives you a little space above the chair. that doesn't look like it's all distorted or you know, perspective is all weird. So great stuff. Just curious, if I were to click more here, nope, okay. So not all photos you can download. Interesting, good. And let's keep on going. Now, I know a friend of ours, Maureen, hasn't been as active coming out with us lately, but that's because she just had a big move. And the photos that she posted for the weekly photo challenge are excellent. She shot a wedding. This is something that's new for her. She was very nervous. She did a fantastic job, so the photos look beautiful. But the big story from Maureen is the friend that she has in her neighborhood. And maybe, if we're lucky, we're going to get to see photos of it. Apparently, there's a bear touring around where Maureen just moved to, and she saw it, and she was with her dog, but she took off because she didn't want anybody getting hurt, which is the smart thing to do. She had her camera with her and had to run because, you know, it's what you do when you see a bear. You lose your load and take off running. So that's her words almost, not mine. So congratulations for moving to a really cool place and great wedding photos that you've posted here. Beautiful tone, beautiful color. Your composition is great, and you know, it's just really excellent work. So I'm happy that you did well. I'm happy that your photos turned out as well as they did. And who knows, maybe this is a whole new thing for you, shooting all new weddings. There you go. All right. Still on vacation, but unfortunately just doing edit after wedding edit. Yeah, see, that's the thing about weddings that I would never shoot weddings for, is then you have to edit everything. And I know, like, I shoot wrestling, and I'll still go through 1,300 images from wrestling, but there's always something around the corner when you're shooting wrestling that you're going to look at it and be like, oh, that is awesome. I'm so happy I caught that. Where with the wedding, I'm catching, well, here's a bride, and nah, it's just not my thing. Anyway, moving on. This is a photo from Joseph. Joseph says, a beautiful vacation day spent in the Summer Classic CNE. Absolutely. I love the CNE. Shelly and I just went to the CNE recently. Got some great photos there. But I tried to keep the camera discreet this trip. I kind of had it on my hip the whole time. It makes it very easy when you're wearing the cotton carrier. You can just kind of snap it in the side there, and it does a great job. So let me just close out of my screen share for a quick second. I'm just going to check something out here. All right, I'm going to do a little invite here and bring our buddy Blake into the Hangout, just because Blake is awesome. So let me just quickly send Blake my invite. There he is. And shebang. All right, so let's see if we can get Blake in the Hangout and have a quick chat with him. And meanwhile, I will go back to the photo sharing. Wow, that was fast. He's already here. Very cool. So this photo from Joseph, I was just going to talk about. It's the classic CNE, you know, CN Tower in the background. I'm here. Yay.
Yes, I'm here.
How's it going, buddy?
I'm all right. It's sort of been a little tied up there.
Oh, that's all good.
So what's going on?
Well, we're just in the middle of the photo review. We've gone through most of the stuff about editing in Google Plus already, and we got about 15 minutes left of the show. So, how have you been? How's the Arcanum treating you, man?
Been busy. I've been actually haven't gotten back to it in the last little while. Been did the Fan Expo over the weekend, and finally got my steampunk festival photos up and stuff. And that's both of those actually been kind of blowing up for me on my website.
What do you mean by that?
Came in. In the last 48 hours, I've had about 5,000 to 6,000 views. Just
holy cow!
I just put up the steampunk photos, shared them, shared a post to the Steampunk Festival's website or Facebook community, and did the same thing on the Fan Expo one, and then posted some stuff as well, and on Google Plus, and everyone just went to my site. I was like, holy crap.
That is awesome, dude.
And I was handing out cards left, right, and center at Fan Expo. That was an interesting little thing, because we found there's like one spot in between the two convention halls where all the photographers were gathering, because we actually had really nice light there. And we were just grabbing people and pulling them off the escalator and right over to a quick photo shoot, and off we went. And there's like 8, 9 of us.
That's awesome.
2 times.
Cool, cool. Is there anybody that I knew that was there as well?
No, it's just all different. I've seen these other guys who were there previously, like from the year before and the year before that have gone down. And it was me and my buddy Winter was with me, and we just blended in with the other group of like 8 photographers, or 5, I guess 5 or 6 photographers, and we just went off shooting like crazy and stuff. I do know next year I'm going to have a reflector with me because I would come in so handy.
Yeah, no, for sure. Absolutely. And next year, I want a little bit more notice.
I tried giving you notice, didn't I?
Yeah, a little bit, but not enough. So yeah. I already booked my time off around there. So I want to, like, do they have the date already planned for next year?
No, not yet.
Okay, so we'll get that early.
Yeah.
Do it. All right. Well, thanks for stopping in, man. I appreciate it.
What did you cover in the for the Google Plus editing? Just out of curiosity.
Oh well, you know, it edits, it does stuff, you know, all that
raw
stuff.
Did you mention it does raw?
No, I didn't. Does it do raw?
Yeah, you can upload your raw files.
Okay, so quickly go into that.
Well, a few years back, Google, after they bought Nick, they announced that they're doing raw photo editing within Google Plus. So you can take your raw photo from whatever camera you want, upload it in there. They'll show you the JPEG right off the bat, but you can actually go in and do all the exact same editing on your raw file, and it'll create a, you know, your JPEG kind of postable version afterwards, including all the edits, and you can revert it back to the original. This is also coming on the heels with the Android getting capability to shoot RAW, so that's probably why they're building that all into Google Plus. So
gotcha.
You can shoot RAW, you can edit RAW, everything on your phone or in the website.
That's pretty cool. Because most of the photo, and I did mention how when you're using an Android phone, the minute you take a photo on your phone, it uploads straight into the Google cloud system. So as soon as you get to your computer or want to edit a photo, it's already right there in Google Plus waiting to edit. So it's all very seamless right now. And if your phone starts shooting in RAW and your edit's in RAW, I mean, seriously, what's the point of Lightroom anymore? What's the point of Photoshop?
Well, the power that you can do, they don't do layers yet. They don't do certain other things. Just trying to see where I threw a raw photo on one of my profiles. I'm trying to remember which one it was. Where did I do this one? But yeah, part of it is just the fact that, you know, you Photoshop and stuff, you can do your layers and you can get everything else, whereas with the others, with this you just can't right now.
And this isn't exactly file management software like Lightroom is.
No.
This is editing, very simplistic, straightforward, easy to use. I think it's kind of like Picasa is the closest thing I would relate it to. Or Snapseed, because it really is the interface of Snapseed.
You know, let me just quickly jump over here.
All right, you do that. I'm going to go back and start screen sharing where we left off with the photos.
Oh, I was just going to do a quick screen share to show you like a raw photo.
Okay, do it.
So.
Oh, you got it up already. Cool.
Yeah. So if you take a quick look, it's a raw photo NEF sitting on Google Plus, and then I can just edit it the exact same way as you were probably doing before. So it'll take a little bit longer because it is a D800 image, so it does take a little while.
Actually, it took about a quarter of the time my computer took you with a cell phone photo. So, yeah.
So yeah, just okay. Here we go. Just start throwing stuff around, play with it.
And you're getting that real-time change when you make your changes too.
Yeah, like that's the best thing about it is like how fast does this thing actually change when you're doing a raw, completely a raw edit. Which one do you want here? No, I'm writing stuff up. And it's definitely not a small, like it's definitely a, a larger file as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, so this is a D800 file, it's a 36 megapixel RAW. I mean. Yeah,
so we're talking roughly 40 meg image or something like that, whatever it is. But yeah, that's the fun stuff.
When you save your changes, is this taking up extra space in your Google account?
No, it's just with Google Plus, you have all your JPEG, like you get unlimited JPEGs up to 2448 or 2048 pixels along the long edge, right?
Right. Yeah.
I believe it fits into the same kind of into that realm because it's just creating like a virtual copy of the photo with the changes on there, so I can go back and revert these or change them afterwards.
Right.
Which is actually the nice thing with Google Plus now. I'm not sure if you mentioned it, but they now have a history of your changes in Google Plus when you're doing your edits.
Nope, didn't mention it.
Okay.
So that again is like Lightroom, how it keeps a history of all the changes you've made, and you can go back to any point within that history.
Yeah, so I can go, revert straight to the original. I can actually, I think there are snapshots or something like that they just did in this one. Like they just added in there recently. Whoops. Where did my photo go? Just trying to remember where they put it again. But there's a way that you can actually do multiple versions of it.
Well, it's nice that you can always go back to the original very quickly as well.
Right.
That's important.
So it just kind of creates a virtual copy of your raw photo with the adjustments placed on it, like Lightroom, very Lightroom-ish. Yes.
I'm gonna do a whole project where I'm only gonna edit in Google Plus, I think.
I kind of did that. I tore my computer apart one day when I was doing my edit a day project, and I was sitting there like, I have to do an edit today, and it was right after the car show, so I loaded up, just before I took my computer apart, I loaded a bunch of the photos onto the iPad, and I was using Snapseed to do my edits for a week while I was rebuilding. It's like, okay, all right, I can upload from here. All right, I'm good.
Well, it's just yet another tool, right? It's something else that we can now use when we need to. A lot of times, and I was mentioning earlier how there's some folks who come into the Henry store and they're like, well, I want to buy some software. I don't know what to get. And when you start telling them pricing about some of the software out there, they're like, oh, and you start thinking, what options can I offer to this person? So, of course, you always pull Picasa out of the hat because it's a free software, but you don't need that anymore. I mean, it's all done within the social media sharing site now.
Yeah, with Google Plus and Instagram, sort of. And other plugins are getting more and more standalone in the way they're doing things. Like On One's just announced they're re-releasing version 9, which now comes with a bridge-style browser, file management, and all the other stuff that Lightroom's starting to do. It's starting to do a lot more that Photoshop does, with the masking and stuff like that. So you have alternatives that are at a fraction of the price.
And this is really good for the casual user. Like not everybody edits as much as we do. So for those people, it's really nice having an alternative that's not going to cost them an arm and a leg or take them 10 years to learn how to use.
Or even like even if you are looking for that kind of power, I mean, even if you look at things like Corel's Paint Pro, or you can look at there's one called Darktable, which is a free Unix-based Lightroom.
Lightroom Darktable, nice.
Yeah. It's a Linux version of Lightroom, but it's also on Windows. You have also coming from Linux is GIMP, which is the free version of Photoshop. So there's a lot of free software out there that can do these things that are really powerful, but they also don't have the same support that Photoshop or Lightroom have.
That's true.
But they get fixed a lot faster at the same time. So
yeah. And there have been situations when Google Plus is down or services aren't available to us.
Shows go missing.
Shows go missing. Actually, I gotta say, the last show that we did with Claude Lecour is the most viewed show we've done in the past year and a half, and the viewership is fantastic and the retention is great. So people liked it. Win. All right, back to the photo review.
Oops. Sorry.
No worries, buddy. No worries. All right, so here we go. This is where we left off with Joseph's photo at the CNE. So I was just mentioning how this is that beautiful classic CNE photo. You've got your leading lines of the benches that drag you right to the end where the CN Tower is. There's story going on with the people walking past. Your colors are nice and bright. Great choice of settings because, there's sharpness everywhere it needs to be. Let's see here. F11. Wow. So this must have been a very bright day. Of course, his ISO is up a little bit, 640. This is the perfect setting for this kind of photo. You want your aperture closed down for the depth. You want your shutter speed fast enough to hand hold. And he's got all that. Very cool stuff. Any thoughts on that, Blake?
It's like a great line. Great, yeah, nicely. I don't know. find it nicely balanced for some reason. Like even though it's a little heavy on the left side, but you have a lot of actions happening on the right side and farther back. I think as you go farther into the photo, so I find like the foreground's a little heavy on one side, but it balances it to the right side at the end. So it's, I don't know, it feels balanced to me even though it's not.
I agree, and that's one of those things that you see you don't really think, but you can kind of feel it as you're looking at it.
Yeah.
Neat. All right, so let's move onward here. Yeah, you can see my computer's lagging like crazy. Here we go. All right, so we talked about Maureen's, we talked about Marjorie's, and
what was it? The theme was vacation, right?
Yes, vacation was the theme. All right, so let's go. Here we go. Okay, so Rhonda's is her staycation. That's what I have coming up, a staycation. I like how she put together all of the individual things that she did on her vacation. Took photos at the beach, collected flowers, walked in a forest, went to the CNE, which that's a great CNE photo too, by the way.
Yeah.
Walked to Mill Pond, used the wide-angle lens, photographed birds in my yard, and spent time at home. All these photos are spectacular, fun, great stories to each one. Great composition, using the wide lens with the tree line the way she has it, and the rocks at Mill Pond. Rhonda, I love every individual photo, and as a whole, you put it together very well, and it's very easy to read. It tells the whole story of your vacation.
Yeah, the only thing that I'd be curious about is how it would tell, like how the story would be told without the actual words, because it fills in exactly what the person's saying, puts it right out there. But it'd be rather interesting to see if the story is told as well without the words. But
so if we saw it without wordage, would we put the same kind of...
Yeah, because you see like this happy, you kind of get this feeling of the happy person here, seeing the beautiful flowers. It's like, wow, this person's all over. You're not even sure if they're in the same place or what's going on. It's just, even if you just had my staycation and then you have all these shots here, I think the story would, like, it would be open to so many different options as to what the story would be, what was going on or where she went and everything. It's like, wow, because the trees don't even look remotely close to the same type, just because the angles and everything else, and also in the beach water where the person looks like they might be from a different ethnicity, and you're just like, where is this? And also, if you know Ontario, you're like, wait a minute, this is the CNE, but what, this is almost like a classic Eastern, the walk to Mill is almost a classic Eastern style coast shot.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's like, this is a staycation? What?
You would think that this is like a whole summer vacation.
Yeah. So it'd be an interesting, for me, it'd be interesting to see what the story would be like without the words.
Really good point.
But great shots. I like the angles. The house was made the house looks great and everything.
No, it's true. Absolutely. Great input. All right, we're gonna move up a little bit here. Ready for winter vacation? Okay, Fred. You're pushing it now. It's a little too soon for winter vacation right now. All right. Although with how hot it is in my place right now, I think I can handle a little bit of winter cool. Holy moly. Jordan, what were you gonna say?
No, just winter. It's like,
Oh yeah. Jordan says, monkey see, monkey do. Lake Ontario, August 31st during the air show between planes. Had my shutter speed up high to catch jets whizzing by, but the effect is interesting. There's two schools of thought when it comes to shooting this kind of thing. Personally, I like the fast shutter speed. I want to see the water droplets. I want to see every little detail. I don't think this type of photo would have the same impact with a slow shutter speed because everything would blur. If there was a way to make the Skidoo rider sharp and everything else soft with an ND of some kind, that would be cool, but I don't know.
How fast can you pan?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's really the trick, right? And that would only be going in a straight line.
Yeah.
So
if doing all the stunts, that or you need a floating flash.
Yes, exactly. Or a flash on the jet ski.
Yeah. Now that would be cool.
Actually, you know what, Jordan? Try that. Make it waterproof, though. That's a whole different bunch of hardship. And Fred has some more here. Cooling off. I gotta tell you, all this water, it's just making me want to go swim. Really, I just want to go swimming right now. There was water tubing earlier in some of the photos. Blake, fun stuff. Byron took some great shots there. Okay.
I met his daughter.
Byron's daughter?
Yeah, we're at the Fan Expo.
Oh, right on.
Guy that edited those shots. Thanks for the reminder.
No problem, brother. All right, so summer vacation treat. That's a great summer vacation treat. Ice cream float. This is something that my wife Shelley would love. That's pretty cute. It's like the ice cream man on water.
Mm-hmm. Pretty cool.
Ice cream float. That's funny. Ball game at the beach. And the last photo of the photo challenge is Phyllis's photo of vacation time once again at good old Niagara Falls. I gotta say, this is excellent sharpness. You don't see too many people taking pictures of the Maid of the Mist from the side and getting that level of sharpness. I'd say this is probably a really good camera. That's a joke. It's not always a good camera. Well, it is a very good camera. I wasn't. But you know how everybody says, oh, it's a great photo, must be the camera?
Yeah.
I hate that. No, this is just a great shot with the right settings chosen. And, you know, this is a 28 to 300 millimeter lens, and we all know that 28 to 300 is just awesome sharp. Does a great job, and that is it. You've got great shutter speed, great settings. It's almost zoomed in a little bit past halfway, so you could have gone in a lot closer and seen what each person was thinking, but we don't need to see that. Great choice.
Yeah, I actually like, you know, the seeing a little farther back as you can see the actual, you know, the rocks and the water and everything else. Just sets the very nicely. I
agree, and it wouldn't be the same photo without that background.
Yeah.
And the mist is falling off just before the boat, so the boat's nice and clear. And that's another hard thing. We were at the Niagara Falls, and wow, it's tough to see the boat through the mist sometimes. So nice clear moment for you there, Phyllis. Great stuff. All right, man. So have you had a chance to look through the photos and pick which ones were your top three?
No, I had no warning tonight. So
I know, you just kind of showed up and you're put on the spot. So I have chosen my top three photos, and if you want to take a quick second and have a look at them, you could do that. And meanwhile, I'm going to remind everybody watching that if you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, please click like, share, subscribe, tell the world. It's a great show. We have a great time doing it. This is episode 96, so we've been doing it a little while now. We're coming up to our 100th anniversary. We're going to have a recap of all of the really cool moments that we've had doing this show. And, of course, next week, as I mentioned earlier, we're having the great Ron Clifford come on to talk about a few great things. So I'm very excited about that. It's always good to have Ron on the show. All right. Have you made any choices there, big guy?
Jeez. You're right. Byron has some really good stuff in here.
Yeah, I agree, eh?
And there was, let's see. I really like Byron's. Maureen's was really nice, I thought. Just that's like really nice and sharp and clear.
That's definitely a consideration. You want to make sure that you have good sharpness, good clarity, good composition, good story. And this is for big prizes now, Blake. Make sure your choices are good. And just to remind everybody,
I'm just kind of, I have no idea what you have chosen there. So
I posted in the group chat just for us, so you can see which ones I chose.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I looked at those.
Place, just as a reminder, first place gets the lens pen cleaning kit, where you get the blower, the lens pen, and the cloth. You also get the lens pen for second place with the Sidekick tablet cleaner, which I certainly need right now for my phone. It's a filthy mess. And, of course, the original lens pen for cleaning all your lenses. These are great tools, guys. If you don't have one, just go get one. You don't have to submit photos to win these things. They're not expensive, $15, $25 tops. And there's something that every photographer should own because it keeps your stuff clean. And if it's not clean, it can't focus. And if it can't focus, you don't have a good photo. So lens pen makes your photo gooder. I think that's their new slogan. I don't think they're even going to share this episode after that. They're great guys. Okay, so I'm going to
one of
just...
your photos.
What's that?
You mentioned one of the photos and I can't find it.
Oh, no.
It's in here somewhere.
It is, actually. You're right. All right, so let me see. Is there anything else that I want to quickly go over? Next week challenge is going to be a little different than normal. It's going to be about being creative. In fact, that's the challenge, is be creative. Because when we give our photo review next week with Ron Clifford, we're going to be looking at the artistic sense that you have to your photo. It's not just going to be a snapshot. It's not just going to be something that caught your eye and you're going to bend down and take a picture. We want you to try something different. So the photo challenge for this week is be creative. All right? And that's not B-E. That's just the letter B because we're cool like that. It's just the B. Be creative. What do you think? Stupid?
No.
Okay. So where are you at with the picking your choices there, Blake? You want me to just go forward?
Yeah, just go forward.
All right, awesome. So, what else? Oh, yes, the Tom Taylor Trail, the Y Marsh is coming up. Check www.daytripperphoto.com for more information about that. The next week's photo challenge is Be Creative. And the winners for this week's top 3 photos will be, for third place this week is Joseph's photo at the CNE. And I'm going to do a screen share here and remind people which photo that is. And here it is right there. So this is third place photo of the week, Joseph's CNE photo. Thank you very much. Second place this week is going to go to Rhonda for her staycation photo. And I think the main reason that I chose this one for the photo second place is just because there's so many good photos within this one photo that I felt that it deserved to be in the top 3. And I can't find it right now, but we all know what it is. And first place, I chose Chris's photo, the Safari Vacation. And the reason I chose this picture is because it tells a story you don't see every day. And it's interesting. It's got great character in the elephant's faces. The little kid sitting on the back, all proud as proud can be. It looks like a story from the Jungle Book. It's not the kind of thing that you see every day, and that's what I really appreciated with this photo. So, Chris, congratulations. You've won first place. Second place goes to Rhonda for her staycation photo. And third place goes to Joseph for the CNE. And that's all great stuff. So thank you all so much for submitting your photos for this week's photo challenge. And don't forget, next week is Be Creative. Anything else to add, Blake? What do you have to talk about? What's coming up new for you?
Actually, I'm just getting a bit of a breather in after like I said, the Fan Expo and everything else. I have a friend's birthday party her theme is a cosplay birthday party, so everyone's getting dressed up as different characters. So I'm gonna be doing more of my fun stuff. Let me see, what else is there?
I've got a question for you.
What's that?
I have a friend who is a furry.
Okay.
What's the deal with this? Like, you talk about cosplay, there's cosplay, and then there's furries, and like, what's the deal with people wanting to dress up like something else and do all these things? Like, a furry, for those of you who don't know, is somebody who dresses up in like a wolf costume or a big stuffed animal, and you pretend to be this animal. Cosplay is a lot different than that, though. Maybe you can explain that.
Well, okay, there's a lot of different ways you can take cosplay. When you go back in time, like, people have always kind of dressed up into different outfits. You see, like, theater and stuff like that, where people are always getting dressed up and stuff like that. And a lot of these people in theater would, from what I understand, is like they're just fans of different things, so they take some of their skills and move it into making different costumes and stuff all over the place. cosplay is kind of the people who are so passionate about certain characters or stories or whatever, they're willing to make their own costumes and show up and say, you know what, we're kind of geeky, we're proud of it, and we put a lot of time and effort into these things to do some phenomenal work. So
kind of like how I feel about the zombie walk.
Yes, zombie walk is actually a part of the cosplay realm, right? It's all the people who want to, you know, live out those characters. Sometimes I know some people who, this one guy I was talking to, he has around 30 to 40 different characters.
Wow.
He cosplays all the time, and it's just different characters that he's read about or whatever. Some of them have been easier, some of them have been harder than other ones. Some of them have just been a quick, okay, I can just do another one. But he started a long time ago. I met one girl who did a really good. She's a character from the Star Wars cartoon series that was on. This character Ventress. She's a Dark Jedi, 2 lightsabers, and she looked the part. It was phenomenal. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, they put a lot of energy into the accuracy and the legitimacy of their outfits and stuff. It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, you'll get stuff like this where you get like the old school Catwoman.
Yeah, I was looking through some of your shots. There was some pretty cool stuff, man.
Yeah, like, this guy's Batman was just phenomenal. I was like, holy crap. But some people end up buying their suits, and some people are completely, you know, homemade. She's actually working for a special effects company doing makeup and stuff like that. And they turned her into like a female Yoda. These are all homemade.
Wow.
I was like, holy crap.
Oh, it's interesting stuff. I know her.
Who?
The Robin.
The Robin?
Yeah, that's Red. Red and Johnny. One year we went to the Toronto Zombie Walk, and there were these 2 people dressed up in wedding outfits. And I took a picture of them, and they found me on Facebook, and it was Red and Johnny. And they always dress up with a stormtrooper head.
Oh.
They each have stormtrooper heads, and they have a photo series of themselves all over the place with their stormtrooper head on and normal clothing. So
that's
pretty
funny.
Interesting. Yeah, it's very interesting.
So, here's my vacation shot.
Oh.
The vacation pest.
The raccoon digging in the garbage.
Rocket Raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I saw Guardians of the Galaxy. We loved it. Shelly's seen it twice in the theaters already.
Yeah, it's. I'm going this Saturday finally.
You haven't seen it yet?
No, I haven't. I haven't had anyone to go with, so I've been like, I need to go.
Batista is awesome. Awesome. All right, so Don Hennessy pipes up. He says, cosplay, short for costume play, is performance art in which participants called cosplayers wear costumes and fashion accessories to represent a specific character or idea that is uniquely identified with a unique name. Very cool. Thanks, Don.
Yeah. So they had the masquerade that was going on. And
yeah, some of the attention to detail is just phenomenal.
Well, you should see, if you throw my screen up for a second, you'll see this guy. He's the Xerxes from 300.
Okay.
Painted all gold and all this chain and stuff, and the guys were just like in great shape, you know, trying to get ready for the stuff. This guy here is just like a beast. There's an entire group of people, just tons. A steampunk Batman.
Blending of both things.
Yeah. This is actually an alien, like an alien character taken from a card game I used to play, Magic the Gathering, and the guy's head is about here at where the first gold part is. So he's. These guys were massive. It took about 6 people to help them up the stairs to get on stage.
See, that is a very impractical outfit.
Yes. They could barely walk in them, but they were hilarious.
At the CNE, they had a life-size Transformer.
Oh, Chris.
It was, like, huge. It was so cool. I still haven't edited my CNE pictures yet either.
Yeah, with all these ones, all I did was, like, got a whole bunch of them. I did the first one. I'm just like, okay, here's the thing. I just batch applied everything. I haven't looked at any of the photos otherwise, so everything's overexposed right now because I just want to batch right now, and I'll deal with them later.
Yeah. It's funny how everybody has their own process to go through photos.
Head on a Pike, Game of Thrones.
Okay.
There's like, Lego Batman, Lego Joker. They're very impractical.
So aggressive. That's really cool. Well, thanks for sharing all those, Blake. That's really great.
Yeah.
Next year, hopefully, a bunch of us can get out there and check all that out. I wanted to go, but I heard it was very expensive.
Yeah. I got a 40 pass and is $158. But it also got me like one, you get like just some of the free giveaways and stuff like that. But just let me cut through line in a lot of spots because they have a priority access, early access as well. They have a premium lounge which you can just go in. It has a phone charging stand. It has water and comfy chairs to sit in. So it's not like their little cafeteria areas that they at the Henry show, they just have like a little pizza stand area that you can sit in.
Yeah.
They have that for everybody, and then they have the premium lounge where you actually sit back and get some rest. They had some areas if you have cosplay costumes and stuff, they'll help you repair it if there's some breakage area.
Oh, good.
So there's like a whole bunch of stuff in there that are just like, yeah, if you pay the extra money, and for a 4-day pass, you're looking about $120, $130 anyways.
So it's not that much more.
No, it wasn't that much more, and it came in so handy because I could just get in there really quick. And when I was shooting all day, that was something, and it worked really good with Massey as well. I mean, I brought him down on the Sunday, and we had a blast.
That's cool. Yeah, he's going to grow up to be into that kind of stuff for sure.
I hope so.
Yeah.
It's fun.
All right, well, thanks for sharing that, man. I appreciate it. And thanks for stepping in the show. I know it was very last minute for you. I just got word, I don't know, about 10 minutes before the show went on that Gabriel he was called away. So I reached out to Blake, because I do that. And Blake was in another hangout at the time, so came straight after. I appreciate that. That's really cool.
Oh, and one more to share, just because.
What is that? Oh, there's Massey.
And this is the original version of Bane.
Oh, right on.
The comics. And the guy was built. But yeah.
Jeez, Massey's getting big.
I know.
Holy cow. That's really cool. All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. All right. So for those of you who haven't paid attention and don't really know what this is all about, this is the Daytripper Photo Show, and we talk about really cool things. So tell your friends, tell your family if they're into photography. Join the Daytripper Photo community on Google+. Follow us on YouTube. Share this with friends that you think might have a passion for photography, and maybe they'll get a kick out of it. Next week's show, like I say, we'll have Ron Clifford on as a guest, and the photo challenge for that show will be creative. All right, guys, that's all for us this week. Brian Weiss signing out. Blake Zimmerman, thank you, sir, for being on again.
Anytime.
And, we will talk with everybody soon. Have a good night, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Night, everybody.